Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool. We are with the chapter Atoms and Molecules. In our previous videos, we have covered the basic aspects of atoms, isn't it? We studied about Dalton's atomic theory, and later we spoke about the laws of chemical combination, the two important laws. First one was law of conservation of mass, and the other one is law of constant proportion, or it is also called as law of definite proportion. Okay, and in today's video we are talking about the size of the atom, and later the symbols that we use for different types of atoms. Okay, fine. Can you all able to give the answer for the question called how big is the atom? How big is an atom? How big? I already told you in the previous video that one single atom does not exist in nature. Okay, atom is not present in single. It is always present in groups together, combined form. Yes or no? So when so many atoms of same type are present together, then that is called element, I said. Isn't it? One single atom is not present in a nature freely. Okay, it has to be there in combination with some other atom of its own type or with another type of an atom. But it will be always present in combination with other atoms. Okay, so if I ask you a question like, imagine you have taking one small atom from element itself is a very difficult process. Okay, and if you want to measure the size of one single atom, how do you do it? It is practically difficult thing. Okay, taking one atom from an element, then measuring the size is a very difficult process, but we can do it. Okay, we have got sophisticated instruments nowadays. Those instruments will measure the size of the atom. Okay, and normally speaking, the size of the atom is very small. Okay, what did I just say? Atom is very small. You can't imagine how much small it is. It is beyond your imagination. Okay, you cannot even see with your naked eye. Single atom, if you want to see, it is not possible, with your naked eyes. But we have got instruments for that. With the help of the instruments, you can able to see the atoms, no doubt. Okay, but with your naked eye, if you want to see them, it is not at all possible because atoms are very small. Okay, and we have got a new word here. The word is atomic radii. Atomic radii. Okay, atomic radius is a singular, atomic radii is plural. Okay, anyway, we use the term atomic radii. So what do you mean by this atomic radii? Atomic radii is nothing but atomic size. Atomic size. Okay, that is the size of an atom. Size of an atom is called atomic radii. Okay, so usually if you know the structure of atom, you can easily understand what is that size of an atom. Okay, about the structure of atom you will be studying in the next chapter. Okay, till then I will just give a basic idea, try to remember that. Okay, so usually atom will have a nucleus at the center. It will have a hard mass called nucleus. Okay, and around the nucleus you will have circular things which we call them as orbits. Okay, we call them as orbits, and this is the basic idea about the structure of an atom. Okay, atom has a particular structure. Centrally it has a very hard substance called nucleus. Around the nucleus you will have certain circles, you know, they are called orbits. Okay, and the distance between the nucleus and the last orbit is what we will call it as atomic radii. Is what we will call it as atomic radii, and that itself is considered as size of the atom. Clear, everybody? It is the distance between the nuclei and the last orbit. Okay, so that distance is called atomic radii. You know, it is a kind of a circle. Radius in the sense what? Center of the circle to the circumference, isn't it? So the same thing, the last orbit is just like a circumference, nucleus is like center of the circle. You know, this radius, this distance is what we will call as atomic radii, and that itself is nothing but the size of the atom. Okay, and one more point you have to remember here is atomic size. Atomic size, or in other words I can say it as atomic radii. Atomic radii is always measured in terms of nanometer. In terms of nanometer. Okay, so what do you mean by nanometer? So usually 1 nanometer symbol is nm, small m. Okay, so 1 nanometer is equal to 1 divided by 10 to the power of 9 meters. Okay, in other words, I can write it as, see, 1 divided by 10 to the power, you can write it as 10 to the power of minus 9. Okay, so denominator 1, if it goes to numerator, plus 9 will become minus 9. Okay, so meter, this much is 1 nanometer. So if you feel difficult like to say 10 to the power of minus 9, just remember this. Okay, 1 divided by 10 to the power of 9 meters is equal to nanometer. Okay, say for example, just an example, think it as assumption. Okay, size of or atomic size of hydrogen is equal to 19 nanometer. Okay, so I am telling the size of one atom of hydrogen is how much, guys? 19 nanometer. That means, what do you mean by this? What do you mean by this? 19 into, okay, 10 to the power of minus 9 meters. Yes or no? Nano means what? 10 to the power of minus 9. Okay, so 19 into 10 to the power of minus 9 meter. Usually, I told you, atom is very small. Isn't it? How much is small? You can imagine the number, how small number it is. Isn't it? 0.000, how many zeros? 9 zeros. Imagine how small, how minute is the atom. Isn't it? So, it is so much small that to measure its size, such small numbers we will use. Okay, so atomic size is always measured in nanometers. Okay, just try to understand 1 nanometer is equal to this much meters. That's it. That much is enough for your level to understand. Okay, you must know what do you mean by 1 divided by 10 to the power of 9. Yes or no? It is nothing but 10 to the power of minus 9. 10 to the power of minus 9 means what? 0.9 zeros. Okay, very small number. Okay, got to know? So this is all about the size of the atom. So the conclusion here is this much only. Atom is very, very, very small. That's it. You can't even see with your naked eye. You cannot imagine the size of an atom. It will be very, very small. Okay. And the size of the atom we call with the term atomic radius. Okay. And that atomic radius is always measured in terms of nanometer. Okay. Very small digit. 1 nanometer is equal to this much meters. That's it. So this much you should keep it in your mind. Fine. And now let us go for studying the symbols for atoms or elements. Okay. So what do you mean by a symbol? Symbols are very much essential. Yes or no? They are just like names for various atoms or element. Here atom in the sense element only. Got to know? Have this idea in your mind. Only difference between atom and element is what? Atom means single, element in the sense group of atoms. That's it. That is the only difference between them. But the symbols that we use for atom as well as element will remain same. Clear everybody? If I want to tell the symbol for an element hydrogen, I will use the symbol H. If I want to tell about the hydrogen atoms symbol, then also H only. Clear everybody? Whenever I say hydrogen element, symbol is H. Whenever I say hydrogen atom, symbol is H only. Okay. So whenever we, in case of symbols, the symbols remain same for both atom as well as element. Only thing, you know, the meanings are different. There is a difference between atom and element. Atom is single, element is nothing but group of atoms combined together. Clear? Fine. And what is the importance of symbol? Why we need to give symbols for elements or atoms? Very much essential, isn't it? See, we all have the names. What is the importance of our names? We will be identified with our names. Yes or no? We have to be identified with the help of a name only. Imagine if names were not there for people, what would happen? If I want to call somebody, what word I should use? Can I use A, O? A come here, O come here. Then who will come? I can use A, O and all. But if 10 people are standing and when I use A come here, who is to come? Yes or no? So here name plays a very important role. With the help of a name only we can identify a particular person. You can recognize a person with the help of name itself. Isn't it? So in a similar way, we have so many atoms in our nature or elements in our nature. If you want to identify them or if you want to study them in a convenient way, you need to give names for them, isn't it? So here the symbols are nothing but shortcut names of an element or atom. Okay, so what do you mean by a symbol of an atom or element? How do you define a symbol of an atom or element? It is nothing but shortcut name of an atom or element. Okay, clear? Say for example, hydrogen. There is an element called hydrogen. Okay, so whenever you want to talk about hydrogen, say you are studying some reaction about hydrogen, every time you cannot write this long word, isn't it? You want some shortcut. See, the man is behind shortcuts always. Yes or no? We like shortcuts because our work will get over soon. We can do the things more conveniently if you go through the shortcuts sometimes. The same logic here. Okay, so whenever you have to write hydrogen for a reaction, every time you can't write this much long word. We need some shortcut. Yes, so what is the shortcut we use here? Just H we will use. Starting letter of the name we are using as a symbol. Okay, to talk about the element called hydrogen. Clear, everybody? So understand the meaning of the symbol and understand the importance of symbol here. So what is a symbol? Just a shortcut name of an element. Why the symbol is very much important? Why the name is very much important for the element? Because with the help of names only, we can identify a particular element or recognize a particular element. Okay, and now we will see how the symbols have been originated. Okay, some history behind the symbols we will learn. Fine. First and foremost, you know, a scientist called Dalton. He is the same Dalton who proposed Dalton's atomic theory. In the first video, we discussed about Dalton's atomic theory, isn't it? The scientist Dalton, the same person. Okay, so he introduced figurative symbols. Which symbols? Figurative symbols. Figurative symbols in the sense, in the form of figures, in the form of some small diagrams. Okay, say for example, he has put this symbol and he called this diagram or this particular figure as a symbol for oxygen. Okay, there is an element called oxygen. We all know how important this element is. Yes or no? So oxygen, for oxygen, he gave a symbol this one. Just, you know, one round circle he has put and he said this is the symbol for oxygen. Okay, and you know, in a circle he has put one dot and he said this is the symbol for hydrogen. Okay, and you know, he said something like this and he called this as a symbol for nitrogen. Okay, and you know, he said this is the symbol for sulfur. This is the symbol for sulfur. And he did something like this and he said this is the symbol for phosphorus. This is the symbol for phosphorus. Okay, and within a circle he wrote I and he said this is the symbol for iron. This is the symbol for iron. Okay, say like this he gave symbols for some of the elements. But imagine right now we have 118 elements in our nature, isn't it? So if you go on giving such symbols for all 118 elements, imagine how could you remember the symbols for all 118 elements? It's a different thing. And imagine symbols have a very slight difference between each other. Yes or no? And you know, there is a natural tendency to get confused, to remember such symbols if we represent in this particular way, isn't it? So these symbols did not stay for much time. Okay, there came another scientist called Berzelius. Okay, so he thought that if we go on putting symbols like this with a slight difference, it leads to a lot of confusion and it's very difficult to remember. So he went in another way. Okay, he went for introducing a very different concept. Okay, in the easiest way. The first point he said was, just consider the first letter of the name to write as a symbol of an element. Okay, what did he say? Consider, the first point he said was, consider the first letter of a name, of an element, he said. Okay, say how did names were given for the elements? Say most of the times the scientist name itself was given for the element, or sometimes, you know, they gave the name of a source. Okay, say for example, if a particular element is present in some source, in some particular matter, then the name of a matter itself is the name of the element. Okay, got to know? Or sometimes some scientist gave the name of a place. Okay, say for example, a particular scientist was born in some particular place. Okay, maybe he has so much love for the place that the starting letter of the name of the place itself, he gave it for the name of an element. Okay, say like that, different elements had got their names from the scientist name itself, or the name of a place, or the source, name of a source where they are naturally present. Okay, so like that names have been given, and this person said, consider the first letter of a name of an element as its symbol. For example, there is an element called carbon. There is an element called carbon, very important element. Okay, fine. And the symbol that you can write for this carbon is just C. Okay, and here C is the symbol that you can use whenever you want to write carbon. See, name of an element is carbon, starting letter is C, so C you can use as a symbol for that particular element. Okay, in a similar way you have an element sulfur. Okay, so what is the symbol for sulfur here? Just yes, you can use it as a symbol. Just yes, you can use it as a symbol, he said. Okay, but there comes a problem. There comes a problem, isn't it? You have an element cobalt. Okay, you also have an element silicon. You have an element cobalt and you have an element silicon. Say, if you use a symbol for cobalt as C, if you use a symbol for silicon as S, you will get confused with the symbols of carbon and the sulfur, isn't it? C was already given for the element carbon. S was already given for the element sulfur. So for cobalt, you can't give C. For silicon, you can't give S. Yes or no? So, in that confusion, small correction he made. Okay, in case if you already have that letters as a symbol for some other elements, then you can use starting two letters as the symbol of an element. Okay, see, C is already there for carbon, so use starting two letters. What are the two letters? C is there, O is there. So CO is the symbol for cobalt. Okay, and see, silicon, yes, is already, it was given for sulfur. So consider starting two letters. So here we considered Si as the symbol. Si as the symbol. Okay. So second point was this. If already the letters were used for some other elements as a symbol, then you have to consider, the starting two letters. Starting two letters from the name. Okay, so this was the second point you can follow to give a symbol. Okay, and the third point was, again comes a problem. You have an element called copper. You have an element called copper, guys. Okay, what is the symbol you will allot for copper? You can't give C, just a starting letter. If you consider, C is already there for carbon, no? You will get confused. Two elements cannot have a same symbol. Fine? C was already given for carbon. Okay, come to the second point. In that case, starting two letters, if you consider CO, it becomes. CO is the symbol for cobalt already. Yes or no? Then what is the symbol you will give it for copper in that case? Then what he said was, if this is not applied to give a symbol, or if the second point is also not applied to give a symbol, then you can consider the starting letters of their Greek name. Greek name. Okay. The Greek name of copper is cuprum. The Greek name of copper is cuprum. Okay. Consider the starting two letters. What it will be? Cu. So Cu is the symbol for copper. Okay. You can't give just C because it's already there for carbon. You can't give CO because it's already there for cobalt. So what you are doing? Every element have their own Greek names. Okay. So Greek name for copper is cuprum. So starting two letters you consider, that is Cu. So Cu is the symbol for copper. Okay. In a similar way, sodium is there. Okay. Sodium. You know what is the symbol for sodium? It is Na. They have not considered S. They have not considered SO also. Okay. But the Greek name for sodium is natrium. What is the Greek name? This is the Greek name, guys. Greek name. Okay. Starting two letters of Greek name, they considered as a symbol for this element called sodium. Okay. So this is how the symbols have been given for various elements. For some of the elements, starting name of the element itself is a symbol. Sorry, starting letter of the name itself is a symbol. For some of the elements, starting two letters they used as a symbol. Okay. And for some of the elements, they searched their Greek names and starting two letters they considered as the symbol. Okay, so this is all about the history of symbols, how symbols have been given for the elements. Okay, and now you have to remember symbols of some important elements that you will come across in your syllabus. Okay, certain symbols which is very much essential to remember about some elements which we use it in a everyday life or which we commonly use it during the study of chemistry. Okay. So the very important element, let me make two columns here, element, okay, and symbol. You have to write all this in your book and learn it. This is very much essential. Very famous element, hydrogen. There is an element called hydrogen. What is its symbol? H. That means the starting letter of the name itself, they considered as a symbol here. Okay, and after that sodium. Sodium symbol is Na. See, they have not considered a starting letter. They didn't even consider the starting two letters, but the symbol is Na. That means what is the Greek name for sodium, guys? Already told you, natrium. Okay, natrium. Na, they took it from natrium. Okay, fine. And after that, potassium. Potassium. Symbol K, guys, not P or not PO. You know, K is also taken from potassium's Greek word, Greek name. Okay, like that, Greek names starting letters also can be considered as symbols. Fine. So potassium symbol is K. Magnesium. Magnesium. Okay, and here it is Mg. Okay. Calcium. Calcium, Ca. Barium, Ba. Fine. Boron, B. See, boron, B. Barium, Ba. Fine. Okay. Oxygen, O. Sulfur, S. Silicon, Si. Okay, coming here. Carbon, C. Aluminium, what is the symbol? Al. Phosphorus, phosphorus, P. Okay. Fluorine, F. Chlorine, Cl. Bromine, Br. Nitrogen, N. Okay, so these are some of the important elements that we use it, okay, in our study. Like whenever I give some reactions, it will be a reactions of molecules containing one or the other elements under this category. Okay, so only famous elements name and symbol I gave you. Like that I said, how many elements are there right now? 118 elements. Okay, as you go for the higher levels, you know, all 118 elements name and symbol you have to remember. And where do you find all 118 elements name and symbol? So called periodic table. Okay, so about that you will study in a higher classes. So with this I complete this session. In my next session we will talk about the mass of an atom. This class we spoke about size of an atom, isn't it? And in the next class we will talk about the mass, that is weight of an atom. Fine. So keep revising the topic and, you know, pause the video or take a screenshot of the things that I am writing on a board. So see you in the next class. If you like our video, please like, share and subscribe our channel for more updates to learn the concepts in the easiest way. Thank you.